And welcome back, everybody. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what I've been playing lately, and that was the Black Desert Online Closed Beta 2. Was it number 2? I think it was number 2. That was a while ago now, and I just haven't had enough time to record and plan this out, so probably going about a bit later than you'd expect, but oh well, here's my impressions. It is a gorgeous game, but the thing I find with a lot of Eastern MMOs is they put on a good front. They look good in screenshots. They look good for first impressions. You look around, you see this gorgeous world, and you become completely enamored by it. And that's what Black Desert does. The graphics are gorgeous. The characters are, of course, pretty as fuck as well. And it's got an amazing character creator there as well. You can't really create... Well, you can create ugly characters, but they're more monsters than ugly, so... And the world is just very well detailed as well. The cities seem like they're actually lively and bustling. There's a lot of NPCs walking around doing their thing. The roads are traveled. You'll see pack-wielding soldiers walking along at times, traders, merchants, caravans, all that stuff going along the roads, all men of the day. There is a beautiful day-night system there, as well as an interesting weather system that combines with that light, combines in different areas to make some truly breathtaking visuals. Now, what I said before about Eastern MMOs, it applies to this as well. Once you just stop for a second and actually look, you'll see texture popping everywhere, a heap of clipping on all the visuals. I don't too much care if something clips or not, but it's there. And just a lot of really bad image popping. Sometimes you'll just see black people walking by. The avatar hasn't loaded in time. It's so much on the computer and it's such a strain on their client, I think, that it just can't send enough information to you quickly enough. Even the environments themselves, the loading distance, even though it's quite small, you'll still see stuff popping in and out constantly. Towns and villages popping out of nowhere. A building that wasn't there before coming ahead. Fences, trees, mountains, everything. You turn for a second and it just explodes in front of you, the visuals. Now, I'm, again, not too worried about this. I think people put too much stress on the visuals of a game and just the funky mechanics behind it. That's what we do for a pretty screenshot, then I'm more than happy to deal with it. But it goes towards the mechanics as well. The combat is absolutely amazing. It is by far the best action combat out there right now. I'm not even talking about just MMOs. The best action combat. I love this system so much. I played a few classes during the beta. The Tamer, the Valkyrie, and the Sorcerer. And the Tamer was definitely my favorite. I got to about level 30 with that one. It is just such a fluid system. The way they have bound the keys to the keyboard, as well as incorporating the mouses, and just how you can move around while combining these keybinds. It's just a great system that really flows so well. And the animations are beautiful too. Not too jaw-droppingly spectacular. You don't have, I wouldn't say, effects overload, but there is a lot there. You can still see what's happening, but it's just something that enhances that combat so well. And with the Tamer, I just loved how all these skills would combine together into this kind of intricate choreographed dance. And the more you play, the more it becomes so much more refined. Like at the start, you're just jumping around like someone having an epileptic fit and just jerky movements, trying to slam something. It's not pretty to watch. But by the time you've got used to it, around level 30, you slowly just jaunting around your opponent, playing with them, smacking down like a tidal wave upon them, then flowing away the next moment. It's just beautiful to watch. Absolutely beautiful. And a joy to play with. It is a great system too. You've got a lot of customization there with both skills you can train up as well as skills you're able to improve upon as well. Not just in power turns, but adding new abilities, new chains to them so you can constantly move, adding new passives to them, upgrading them. It's just real fun to see your character grow in those terms, even though you might be using the same kind of skills throughout that process. These abilities and your rotation do change over time, and you can feel that change, and it's a good change. Now, with this customization, you do have to specialize. I can't stress that strongly enough. You could get every single skill there, purchase them all, but then you'd never be able to actually train them up to their fullest potential. And that's really what you want to do to maximize your damage and maximize your output. Focus on the skills that you like and that feel right to your character. And then maybe adding a few special systems now and then, a little bit more CSC, a little bit more movement, that kind of stuff. Just what you like playing, what feels right to you. That's how this system works. Unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like there's actually much to do with this amazing combat system. It is incredibly grind heavy, this game. You will be doing hundreds of hours of grind. I think it's like 20 hours to level 50, but from then on, it just grows dramatically. Now, I'm one of those weird people who have actually been looking for MMOs to focus more on a leveling grind. Just going out there alone or with friends, grinding some mobs, having a good time. That is the perfect kind of leveling system to me. Sometimes it's a little bit boring, like I didn't like the SO veteran rank grind, probably because the combat didn't click with me. But for this, I really didn't mind going out there and just slaughtering mobs for 10 hours. That was my gig, that was my game. I loved it so much. Quest grinding isn't me either. I'm not one to be bothered by story too much. I don't care about story in MMOs that much. I care about what I'm doing and what the world's doing. I want to be involved with the world and, of course, kill everything in the world. But I'm sure there will be quite a few people who do not like this grind-heavy approach to leveling and content, really. I know in the Korean version there is an open world type dungeon right now, and a couple more coming, and maybe some bosses, but right now in NA it is extremely content light. You will be grinding for the ingredients you need to craft. You will be grinding for enhancements to your weapon and your armor, transfusions. You'll be grinding for gems. You will be grinding for experience for a long, long time. That's what this game is about, grind. What did I say about Eastern MMOs, right? But sometimes that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Right now, I'm half-hearted on that. I want some more areas with different kind of challenge. I want to face, some bigger monsters now and then if I want something in particular in the game. Not necessarily even progression-based, but just cosmetics and titles and just all that weird stuff we go out of our way to do in MMOs. The rest of the game is really interesting as well. The crafting, incredibly deep, and I didn't really get into it much in the CBT. A whole refining process. Gathering is intricate with both renting items you might need to pickaxe ore or grow farms. You've also got workers you can delegate to specific nodes and to gather certain resources, and that's a whole mini game in itself as well. There's quite a few professions to use and abuse, with, I'm guessing, alchemy and crafting being the probably most endgame proficient ones, but it seems like a lot of them are useful in endgame anyway, even those for weapon crafting and gear crafting, because you will still need certain items in the process to both upgrade and improve your durability of your items. So there will always be probably a little bit of a demand for this stuff. That's great. I like that. The other elements are, of course, trading, and I love this about the world too. I'm not much of a trading baron, although it is something I generally like to dibble and dabble on occasionally. What it is connecting up all the cities and outposts and whatever else you come across into this network of nodes. And once you have combined a certain set of them, you can start trading along that node line, start moving packages and earning money that way. This is also the way you can assign workers to certain places as well. And the whole thing is rather interesting in how they actually incorporate quests. Now, at the start you might think this is a theme park game, follow along the quests, go to level cap, that kind of stuff. But the quests don't really reward much experience at all, if any, and their primary use is either bag space for me, or as getting you contribution points. And it's these contribution points you'll start using to connect these nodes, and later on as a guild, maybe even improving your trading post, your center, your city, your outpost, whatever. Letting it gain more resources for you, or better, experience from monsters, all those kind of things. It's a really interesting system. I'm really looking forward to trying out a little bit more. And of course, what I am excited about most is the PvPs. Gonna get my gink on. Maybe not with the Tamer. I've heard they're not the greatest of PvP people, but maybe with the Awakening staff, I can smack some skulls. The guild vs guild looks pretty cool. I'm not sure how well it functions with its alleged 100 vs 100. I saw their footage and that looked like a frame-by-frame mess. I am not playing PvP like that. I play it to actually see and react to what I'm playing with. Maybe I'll get into the arenas and that kind of stuff. Definitely a bit of ganking, of course. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now, of course, I do have concerns about Black Desert Online. I am one of the people that do consider it pay to win, ever so slightly though, because of its approach on the cash shop, both in terms of stats on cosmetics, that's a shitty idea, but also just because of their approach with, certain items, certain consumables, a focus on experience gain in a game that is about PvP. Any advantage whatsoever gained from a cash shop is what I would consider to be pay to win, and that's what it gives you. Mostly, it's just how annoying a lot of these systems are. I hate the incredibly restrictive inventory system right now. Yes, you can get some from questing. Fuck off, right? That is not nearly enough. And I don't know, it's just insanely expensive to get even a moderate amount that you need or that you require from grinding that tends to throw 1,000,000,001 little shit items at you all the time. The other stupid systems are the pets, where you actually need 3 to maybe function effectively as a grinder and something to loot, so you don't have to go around looting every single little item you see. 3 pets, that's ridiculous. I would be okay with 1. That's a convenience item. Not buying 3 of these shitty little things. And it's a whole RNG system as well. You can't even be sure if your pet is going to have the right experience passive for you, if they're going to have a good pickup for you. You can combine them to better tiers, but then you lose both of your previous pets in the process. That's ridiculous. Then there's the warehouse system with things. You have to buy warehouse space for each individual center. I understand having regional trading areas. That's great for the warehouse system. But if I'm going to buy an item from the cash shop, I expect it to upgrade all of them at once. That's just what I think. And there's just a whole heap of little shitty little ideas in their cash shop that right now look, while annoying, small, that I just have the feeling it's going to get arcade-esque, These things always start small. These Eastern MMOs like to trick you first and bring you into the game. And then they start their pay-to-win bullshit. That's just what they do. And I hate them for it. And I hate myself for liking them still. I liked Arcade. Fuck you for ruining it. And if you ruin this, so help me, I will fly there and punch you in the gut. So yeah, so far I did decide to actually pre-order the game. Shame on me, right, for these pre-order antics, I know. But I can't help myself. I'm one of those people desperate for an MMO to really immerse myself in, to really get engaged with, to really grind with, if that sounds stupid. I just want to spend hours upon a world, growing a character, growing into the world, that kind of stuff. And hopefully Black Desert will be it. Cautious, but optimistic. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.